Okay folks, welcome to Ventura, California. I'm here with my little travel trailer you see here. It's got the slide out there, it's kind of roomy in the truck. So this is my business on the road. I'm selling my knife sharpeners here at the fairgrounds. So come on over, I'll show you what we're going to do today. This video is going to be about garden tools. And there's a lot of different garden tools out there. You can see the shovel, the hoe, there's a pickaxe, edger. We're not going to sharpen all these things, but you get an idea of what is available. Some other hoes, a hatchet, I've done a video on this, a trowel. These are loppers, here's some grass shears. Now the shovel, I've done a video on that one too. But brush clearers, machete, and the lawnmower blade, we'll do that in another video. And down on the end down there is the 10 snips, and then there's a couple of little pruners. We're going to show you that. Okay, so we're going to come over here, my little setup here, and I'm running off of a Gold Zero power pack, and you can do that so you can be totally portable. Okay, now there might be occasional airplanes going over, helicopters or whatever, so bear with it. Okay, here we go. First off, I want to clear a couple of terms with you that you need to know. Some of you are familiar with this, but there's both flat and convex grind on blades, and you're going to encounter both when you're working with garden tools. So once you see the flat is the flat shoulders, and then the convex has got that curvature in there. Okay, we'll be dealing with both. We're going to start off doing some. These are bypass tools. Bypass means one blade goes past the other. This is a pruning shear, and this is also a pruning shear, but they're different. This one, as you see, has a block there called an anvil, and then this is the blade which comes down and closes onto that anvil. This is used for woody type of things, or dry stems. And then, okay, we got the train coming through here, guys. All right, well, it's part of the entertainment here. Love that clackety clack. Okay, and then the other type, and there's the anvil I wanted you to see. This is a bypass type of cutting, so we have one blade going past the other rather than just one blade coming onto. So, and this side has got, it's got that convex grind to it, see? And then this is just flat, and it just goes past that. So in this case, we just sharpen the one blade. We don't touch this part. That's just you can see there's no, you don't want to do anything to that, change that at all. So one blade is actually going past the other, bypass. Okay, good, we cleared that up. Now, as a general rule, when you're sharpening things, garden tools especially, they're going to be dirty. They're going to have like tree sap and resin on them, and maybe they're rusty and things like that. So before you even start to sharpen, you need to clean them. Get some soap and water, get a brush, toothbrush or whatever. You might need a wire brush, some steel wool to take the rust off maybe, and clean them up. Yeah, that's important. And often that'll sharpen them up, just doing that. Okay, set those aside. So what we're going to do is start off with, this is that anvil type of sharpener or cutter. It's a pruning shear. This would be something you'd use on dry stems and woody things. And we're going to use the basic sharpener. We have the basic sharpener and the Ken Onion model here both. They could both be used for this. Okay, this is only one speed, and you've got the 3 grits. And the user guide that comes with it, your section relating to what we're doing today is section 12 on these pruners. Okay, so you could refer to that, and that's a good thing. Okay, so what we're going to do here is get in there. Now this blade on this has got that convex grind to it, left and right. Okay, so we're going to have to get in here and get it sharp. So I drop this in, you see, and I don't know if you can see that, but the belt is wrapping in there, and then I pull it across like that, and that one pass is probably adequate. One thing you don't want to do on these is put a dip in there. You've got to keep that perfectly straight, so move it smoothly across. One stroke is usually enough, and then you're going to do the other side the same way. So here we're going to actually we did this side, and now we're going to come around and get this side. So if I don't goof it up here, there we go. And get in there, turn it on, and run it across. You want to match that existing angle as best you can. Now, I'm not using a fresh 220. I'm using a very worn one. This is more like about a 400 grit, which is better for something like this. If it's a big, heavy-duty type of bypass cutting tool, then you can use a fresh belt. Okay, I wouldn't use a green, and the purple might be fine for fine-tuning. You could actually touch it up with that. Okay, so this is the anvil type. I showed you how to do that. It's more in the book. This is your bypass type, where it's passing this block here, and there's your blade. And let's do this with the Ken Onion. So again, you can, like the book says, clamp this in a bench vise. It might make it easier for you. I just don't happen to have a bench vise here today. But so you could do it this other way too. So you're going to catch this in here. Now there's the side that you want to catch, and you got to work it so you can get in there. So what I'm going to do is drop it in. I'm almost like cutting the belt. And as you pull it across, you're going to slowly close these jaws so you can keep the belt in contact with that shoulder. You see what I mean? So here we go. I'm going to come in there. I'm going to actually turn this on, so it's actually turning. It's going pretty slow, but that's okay. That's actually too slow for this. Speed it up. Okay. So here we go. I'm dropping in, and then touch the belt, closing the jaws, drawing it across, keeping it on that shoulder, that same angle. And you do a few passes like this. Again, coming across, into the tip. There you go. And you can see it's putting some polish in there. Okay? Yeah, so you do a couple of those, and you've got your shape in there. You don't do too much. I'm taking actually now there's several grits for the Ken Onion. I'm not using the red, that's a little bit coarse. This is the X65, that would be okay. I'm using the X22, and then there's an X4. So the X4 is probably, you could go from the X22 I'm doing to the X4, and that'd probably be about right on this one. Okay, so you got the idea. Now you can actually open these up quite wide, and you can take them apart too, and that might be easier for you, just to actually take that nut off and take it apart, and then it's much easier to do that. On this one, you could also take that out and take it apart. So if you want to make it easy on yourself, yeah, get yourself a screwdriver or a wrench and disassemble them. You can put them back together, and that makes it even easier for you, okay? So we're done with these. Now those come in different types. This is a smaller version of that same bypass pruner, and it would be similar the way it works and the way you sharpen it. This is like florist scissors for cutting stems on flowers if you do flower arranging. And they're sharpened just like scissors, which is section 10 in your book. So treat these just like a pair of scissors. Okay? And there's a video already on that, so I'm not going to show that. Let's do this. This is actually, here's one that really definitely needs help. It's pretty dirty. This is one you clean up really well first, and maybe use some solvent on it like kerosene to get all the grease and oil off of there too, and some steel wool to get the rust off. So once you get it all cleaned up, then you could take it apart. So here's a similar one that I've sort of disassembled. It makes it much easier. So you know, this blade is going to go across like this, you know, once you get it all together again, but this will go over the top. So there's actually nothing to sharpen on this. It's just a square piece, square edge, so you leave that one alone. There's only one blade on this that you're going to sharpen, and you can see the bevel there, the shoulder, and I have sharpened this before. Let's take the basic sharpener, and you can easily do this. You can either hold it, or you can set it up on the table like this, and then maybe it's a little easier this way, and match that angle and come across just like that, a few passes. See some sparks coming off because this is high carbon steel. Now, in order to know that you match the angle, you could take a Sharpie, a black magic marker, and put a mark on there, and then watch to make sure that you take the mark off, and that you've taken the mark off all the way to the cutting edge. And that might bring a little burr around to this side. That's fine. When you close them the first few times, it'll take the burr away, all right? But if you feel a burr, that's good. That means you're getting it sharp. And so that's how you would do those. Okay, so moving along here, let's set this aside now, these things. Okay, there's a whole bunch of different types of tools, as you saw, for the garden. Let's do, these bigger shears. It's similar. This is more a hedge shears, you know, and they have a sort of curvature, a little wavy edge. And again, they need to be cleaned up. Some steel wool, soap and water, you know, steel wool, and some maybe some kerosene down there to get some of the tree sap and stuff off. Very good. And then you can sharpen them like we did the grass shears. Okay, so those are bypass tools where one blade passes the other as they close. Now let's do a hoe. Now hoe, you know what a hoe is. It's a digging tool. Your typical hoe here. There it is, and it's got some dirt on it and everything. So you're going to take that wire brush and clean that off first, and then anyway, but to get the actual cutting edge, and hoes also come like this, where you get the hoe part, and then you clean it up, of course, first, and then you sharpen it. So let's take this hoe head, and we're going to take and go down to an 80 grit on the Ken Onion, on the basic machine here. Or on your Ken Onion, you take that 120 grit red belt, the P120 it's called. Okay, and what I'd like to do on this is just, again, rotate that head down like this. So you slide that over and rotate it down. Same on the Ken Onion model. You would slide it, you have this release here that you press in, and then you can rotate that head into different positions. So get it into a comfortable position. And in this case, we can hold this, and I'm pulling across. Now, I should have cleaned this up, but you can see that we're shaping the shoulder here, putting a convex grind on it. The sparks are flying because it's high carbon, and we're taking the rust off and getting it sharp. Now, this is single bevel. This side is actually flat. So remember at the beginning, that single bevel. And there you go. This is how you would sharpen a hatchet. Hatchets are often double bevel. There's a bevel on both sides though. This is single. And at this point, you know, you can see, you can feel a burr coming around that other side. The belts come down and push a little bit of steel around. If you have a real rough edge, just keep at it until it's smooth. And when you feel that burr the whole way, you're ready to go. Now, you don't have to go to any of the belts on something like this digging tool, a hoe, or a shovel. Same idea on a shovel. No, just do the coarsest belt you've got, and you're going to get it sharp. Okay, and that's how you do those. So this would apply equally well to a shovel. We have a shovel over here. Okay, and let's see what else we're going to do here. Now, some of these things I'm going to show you later. The machete. Okay, stay tuned. We're going to have a video on that. I'll do lawnmower blades. Okay, stay tuned on that. Now, some of these are in your user guide. Here's the shovel, section 11. Hoes, axes, pickaxes, post hole diggers. So your instructions are there for the basic model. On the Ken Onion model, they don't have as much information on it, but again, there is some. Here's your section 11. Grinding, polishing, deburring. And there's a lawnmower blade being done, and there's rotating the cassette down. You're going to remove the guide. You're not going to use your angle guide when you're doing these things. So the angle guides, they're just not part of these outdoor tools. Okay? All right, but your user guides are very helpful. Okay. So, now, just, well, let's take a look at what else we've got over here. Your trowels are going to be very much like a shovel, so same idea. And this is single bevel, you can see, they work better when they're sharp. This is a little digger, prong thing. Now these are not sharp, but you can break up some clods of dirt. But if you want to put an edge on them, okay, then just again get your coarse belt let's do this on the Ken Onion here. And put the 120 grit over the top here. Speed it up because you want to go fast on something that's, I'm going to lock it on. And then you can come in here and work on these teeth. See, I'm taking the paint off, but that's okay. They're going to be in the garden, they're going to get rusty. And then come the other side, and we're putting some sharpness into these teeth. See what I'm doing? So you can get the idea. And you can carry on and get them nice and sharp. If they're damaged, you can get them fixed. All right. But yeah, and this is 10 snips. 10 snips are bypass tools. These you can open up really wide, see? And then you can take this belt. I'm going to slow her down here. Get it a little faster. And I'm just running across, and then I turn it around the other side. There's the sparks flying, but I match that angle again. Put your magic marker mark and then sand it off, and you're good to go. And they'll take that burr off as they close. Okay, so there's 10 snips. I think you can figure out most everything from these basics that I've given you. Here's some things about the reason why you want your garden tool sharp. Because, for example, when you're trimming a rose bush or something like that, or maybe taking some limbs off with a big lopper. You know, I don't have a lopper here, a big one, but you want a clean cut. You're cutting part of the plant, and it heals much better if it's got a clean cut, you know. If it's a ragged cut because you got a dull tool, the plant is subject to getting infection, injury, bugs, things like that. But they'll heal up much quicker if you cut cleanly with a sharp blade. So that's the reason for that. Okay? On the flat side, just as a rule, see this flat side? I didn't do anything. I did this one side, the beveled side, the convex side, and the flat side, don't do anything there except clean it. You're going to take your soap and water, your any sort of solvent, you know, kerosene or something, get any sap or stuff out of there, and maybe a little bit of steel wool, but that's all you're going to do. If you do anything there, you're going to put a shoulder in there. You don't want to do that. This has got to be perfectly flat, okay? And same over here. This you don't even do anything with. You're only doing the one blade on this. This is a bypass pruning shear, okay? So that's a little tidbit there. I think we've pretty much covered bases here. Okay, so tell you what, Ben Franklin said something interesting. You can see it on the shirt. A man without courage is a knife without an edge. So Ben was a pretty smart guy for his age, and so let's get sharp. Life goes better. Little courage, you know, get those knives sharp. And here we are in Ventura again. And so as I always say at the end of these, stay sharp. Thanks, guys.